Okay, everybody, it is me, Gregory Mannarino. It is still Tuesday, May 25th, 2021. This is my post-market report, and it's going to be lovely. It really is, if I can keep it together, because again, it's just more of the same freak show, except worse. Let's talk about that. Let's start off with the basics here. So the stock market today finished slightly in the negative. I'm referring to the Dow Jones Industrial Average, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ. Okay. What's driving the market? It's obviously the Fed. It's talk from the Fed and maybe something else too. The market really isn't buying it. It's not buying the no inflation narrative. And that could potentially present issues with regard to this market putting on gains. Now, we're going to talk more about that because we heard from the Fed Vice Chair himself today. We heard from Fed President Evans today. We got, abysmal economic news today. But we're going to talk about all that. So let's, again, stick with the basics before I go back to my little notepad here. So, yes, the market fell under some pressure, but let's look at a few other things. 10-year yield, I would say it's still stable. It did come down a little bit. What does that tell us? When the 10-year yield comes down a little bit, it's a reflection of fear in the market. In my view, the market may not be buying the no inflation narrative. It's insane how they are trying to sell this narrative yet again, although they admitted to it. And as a matter of fact, we got an admission today from the Fed Vice Chair. We'll talk about that, like I said. Let's talk about a few other things here. So again, 10-year yield came down a little bit. That's a little fear. We'll see it's still stable. Dollar, weaker. The dollar is dying. We know that, and no one wants to do a damn thing about it. The Federal Reserve wants to kill it. That's why they're running their inflation machine as fast as they possibly can. You know how this works, buying debt through one door and issuing it through another door. It's an insane thing, and no one talks about it. Nobody brings, the Fed chair before Congress and say, hey, all this talk about inflation, why don't you explain to us, sir, how the Federal Reserve is running an inflation machine at full speed? Prices are going up. We all see that. Oh, you mean they're not going up? Oh, okay. We're supposed to ignore it? It doesn't matter. Oh, I see. We have material prices surging, energy prices surging, housing in a hyper bubble because the Fed, again, not only is killing the dollar, but is providing fake demand by buying mortgage-backed securities. Why doesn't one member of Congress ask these questions? Well, the answer is simple, because they're not the government. They are just things. They're not even human either. Since April 1st, gold and silver both have put on significant gains. That trend, as long as JP Morgan doesn't get involved, should continue. But you know the game. JP Morgan is rigging the metals. They get caught over and over again, and nothing happens. They pay a fine. Bad boy. Bad. That's it. Nothing ever happens. It's an incredible thing. Crude oil, a little pressure today, but after yesterday's epic run higher, what else would you expect? Now, so I just want to talk about what I wrote down here. Right at the top, I wrote, U.S. dollar is cratering. Can you see that? Look, this is all the stuff I wrote down and scribbled all over the place. And the dollar is cratering as the Fed just continues to buy it all, dilute the currency, devalue the currency, all by design here. And the consumer today, we found out, consumer confidence fell on in their face, rising inflation. But, it's not real. It's not real. Remember that. And then we get this. Fed President Evans today, this is his exact words. This is a quote, okay? Easy money policy has my full support. Great. So Fed President Evans is telling us, they're going to keep running that inflation machine and they don't give a damn who it hurts or how it hurts anybody. And then again, going back to the Fed Vice Chair himself, Clarita, this is what he said. This is amazing to me. Referring to the inflation that we're seeing. This will prove to be largely transitory. So he's admitting there's inflation, but it's just transitory. We're back to that narrative. People, it's so sick. Now here's some of the economic news that we got today. New home sales plunge, absolutely plunge. Meanwhile, home prices are surging at their fastest pace on record. Do you see something here? Is something just not fitting? Is it just not working? I think you understand. It's clear to me, and it should be crystal clear to you as to what's going on here. And I know it is. But to me, the issue is, why is it that the mainstream financial channels, the mainstream news outlets, they don't raise any of these questions? They just sit there and cheerlead when the market goes up and cry when the market goes down. They don't put any of this into perspective. They don't want people to understand what's happening to them. And it's literally like the boiling frog syndrome. People will stay there until they're dead. And that's really the truth. But look, what else would you expect here? We have a society that really cannot walk and chew gum at the same time. I'm talking duh. They're just dummies, all of them. They walk through time and space not knowing who they are, what they are, why they're doing it. They just act. They just reflex. In this environment, they wonder why they're struggling. But of course they'll submit to the face diapers and DNA altering injections. That's fine. It's all well and good. But everything else, no. It's an incredible situation. And this is global. This is not just here in the United States. And it's a pretty alarming situation to me. But what can I tell you? I'm out here trying to do my part. And I hope you are too, by sharing these videos, by talking about these things, getting this information out there. Because to me, what we're seeing is just the tip of it. It's the tip of it. And this is all going to get monumentally worse. And then it's going to all come tumbling down in such a manner that people are just not even going to know what hit them. So hard and so fast. Look, believe me, I am crystal clear on the fact that none of this is sustainable from any way you want to look at it. And they are deliberately, look, this is what the Fed is doing right now. They are deliberately creating an inflationary event crisis so they can issue in their new dollar. We had Federal Reserve President Brainerd out today pushing the digital dollar, how great it is, how it's going to be just a fantastic thing. Look, they're doing it. The Fed already has the digital dollar. They're just waiting to roll it out. They're waiting for the other world central banks to catch up because this is also going global. Okay, fiat paper currencies, they're gone. All of it. It's all going away. The coins, the paper, all of it, all going away. Every single transaction down to the fraction of a cent is going to be monitored by central banks. This is what they're looking to do. It's all about control. Why do you think? They want to see what they can get away with, the face diapers. Okay, people are going to do that. They're going to do anything we tell them to do because they're sheep. And they will line up and walk right into whatever trap we set for them. It's an amazing phenomenon. But again, what else would you expect in a thoroughly and completely dumbed down society? Nothing. It's only going to get worse. But again, for you and I, we understand what we're doing and why we're doing it. It can't be easier for us. So again, just in summary here real quick. Stock market fell under some pressure here. 10-year yield came down. That's fear. Okay, when you see that 10-year yield move around like that, I don't think the market's buying the there's no inflation narrative. especially when you have the Fed vice chair saying, oh, well, we do have inflation, but it's only transitory. And then you got Evans here. I can't believe this. Easy money policy has my full support. Someone should talk to this man. Have a nice, and he's not the only one. This is what the Federal Reserve, this is what they want to do. They want to keep issuing debt. It's their only product. The more debt they issue, the stronger they become. Why would they talk about maybe cutting back on issuing debt, stopping their inflation machine? No, can't do it. Now that it's set in motion and they got the world by the throat, they're just going to, push harder. I think you all know that sincerely. All right, people, look, so with that said, that's where we are today with this market, with everything connected to it. You know what to do. Nobody knows better than you do. But we're never going to change our plan. Our plan is perfect. Okay, bet against the debt. Become your own central bank. Hold physical gold, physical silver. Yes, cryptocurrencies as well. You own these things, people. They're not issued by a central bank. You own them. If you hold them, you own them. You understand? It should be very easy for you to comprehend this. But expect the distortions, the lies, the propaganda, the misdirection, the silence to get worse, because no one's going to talk about this. No member of Congress is going to bring a Fed president or the Fed chair and ask any real questions. Just going to be, praising, oh, thank you for your service. Thank you. Can I lick your feet? It's obscene. It really is. All right, look, I'm out here. This guy here loves you a lot. Please share the video. See you tomorrow.